Welcome back to Technetium, where we don't just hack the planet, we learn how to do it the right way. Today we're diving into the power couple of programming languages, C and C++. These are the secret weapons every hacker dreams of, giving you the ability to bend memory, manipulate processes, and talk to your computer on a first-name basis. Stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll know why these legendary languages are the ultimate keys to unlocking the world of ethical hacking. Let's crack into it. When it comes to system-level hacking, exploit development, and reverse engineering, C and C++ are like Batman and Robin, reliable, powerful, and always ready for action. These low-level programming languages don't just teach you how to hack, they let you peer under the hood of your computer to understand how the engine works. Want to tinker with memory, exploit vulnerabilities, or even create research-based malware? For ethical purposes, of course. C and C++ have got you covered. C and C++ are like the backstage passes to the inner workings of a computer. These languages let you waltz straight past the high-level abstractions and rub elbows with the hardware itself. They give you the keys to the kingdom, direct control over memory, processes, and the operating system. It's as close as you can get to talking to your machine in its native tongue, which is why hackers, the ethical kind of course, love them. Let's start with C, the nuts and bolts toolkit for hackers. C doesn't hold your hand with fancy features. It assumes you know what you're doing. Want to access memory directly? Sure, care to manipulate pointers? Be my guest. Fancy overwriting a buffer and crashing a program? Go ahead, C won't judge. This is why it's perfect for writing shellcode, those small yet mighty snippets of code that execute commands on a target machine after you've exploited a vulnerability. Shellcode is like the secret handshake of hacking, and C is the language that lets you create it. Then there's C++, which is like C's cooler, slightly more sophisticated cousin. While C lets you operate the machinery, C++ lets you design the whole factory. It introduces object-oriented programming, which means you can manage complex systems with ease using classes and objects. For hackers, this translates to creating more organized and scalable exploits, tools, and frameworks. Need to automate a series of system calls? C++ has your back. Want to build a simulated environment to test a payload? C++ makes it easier to manage the complexity without losing control. Learning C and C++ is kind of like taking the red pill in the Matrix. You'll see how deep the rabbit hole goes, right down to the ones and zeros of your machine. And yes, while debugging your code, you might feel like Neo dodging bullets. But hey, that's the fun of it. Just remember, every time you forget a semicolon, a hacker cries somewhere. Now, there are also many real-world examples of ethical hacking where C and C++ plays a vital role, like buffer overflow exploits. It's a classic hacking technique where a program writes more data to a buffer temporary storage than it can handle, causing it to overwrite adjacent memory. Using C, you can craft your own exploit to take control of a program. This technique was used in the infamous Morris worm in 1988, one of the first computer worms distributed via the internet. Malware development, of course, for ethical research. With C++, you can develop proof-of-concept malware to test an organization's security defenses. For example, you might create a simulated rootkit to see how antivirus software reacts. Reverse engineering. Want to know how a program works or uncover its vulnerabilities? With C and C++, you can disassemble and analyze software binaries, figuring out what makes them tick. This is a crucial skill for anyone aiming to work in malware analysis or digital forensics. Now I guess that's a wrap, folks. C and C++ might not be the easiest languages to tame, but once you've got them under control, you'll feel like the Sherlock Holmes of hacking, solving mysteries one byte at a time. So see you next time. May all your bugs be features.